Is this now the superior Acqua di Gio? Let's find out and review Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Elixir now. Yo, what's up guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload weekly fragrance content. So you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below if you want to keep updated with the best fragrances, and be sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. But today in my hands is the brand new release from Giorgio Armani. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big fan of the Acqua di Gio line. I own a few from them. Perfume was my favorite. The parfum was decent, kind of similar, but a little bit of a letdown. And with the Elixir now, guys, I am so hyped because this one right here might actually be the one that reigns superior. And possibly the perfume replacement we've all been waiting for a few years now. And as you can see in my hands, I do own Profumo and I own the Parfum, so I am very familiar with this DNA. Now, before we go ahead and talk about this fragrance, I do want to shout out Giorgio Armani for sending it out for review. Of course, that's not going to change my opinions. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it, and if I don't, I don't. And I'll make that obvious to you guys. So let's go over some information now. Of course, Acqua di Gio Elixir was launched in 2025. It just recently dropped at the time of this recording, so it's brand new. For the retail price, only size this one comes in, which is the 50 ml, so it's a small bottle, is gonna set you back $160 now. I believe these might be hitting discounters now, so you might be able to find it a little bit cheaper, but still guys, very expensive for the size bottle you are getting. But that's kind of the thing with elixirs, guys. These things are very expensive, especially when it comes to like mainstream designer fragrances. The concentration is, of course, an extrait de parfum. The highest perfume oil is used in a fragrance, and that's what you also expect from an elixir flanker. So highly concentrated without a doubt with this one. The perfumer is the man himself, and the man behind all of the Acqua di Gio flankers is Alberto Maria's, one of the best noses perfumers in the game, hands down, especially when it comes to like crowd-pleasing designers. He definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to this genre. Now, with all the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you get with Acqua di Gio Elixir now. Alrighty, take a look at the box, which guys, this is a very simple, basic box. I must be honest, especially for the price, but it does come in the black box. Acqua di Gio Elixir Giorgio Armani, 50 ml bottle there. On the bottom of the box, you have your batch code to authenticate products and see when it was produced. And then on the back, you have your barcode as well as some ingredients and nothing really on the top. So let's look at the bottle now. Okay, so looking at the bottle, which I actually really enjoyed the presentation of this one, might actually be my favorite. I love how deep black this bottle design is. Almost has this transparency on the bottom as well. Giorgio Armani Elixir. On the bottom, you will have your sticker with your batch code as well. Nothing really on the back, nothing really on top besides the Giorgio Armani logo. And then inside, nothing. On top of the atomizer, though, you have the logo as well. But guys, they did finally bring back the magnetic caps that you did find on the old Profumo bottles, which is a plus. In the top, you have bergamot, mandarin, and nutmeg. In the mid, you have violet leaf and water notes. And in the base, you have leather, patchouli, vetiver, and labdanum. And this will be classified as a fresh aquatic. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Honestly, a disappointing atomizer that isn't pressurized. I believe the other ones might have been, especially like the old Profumo, but still, that's not the biggest deal at the end of the day, guys. So let's go ahead and remind myself of the brand new Acqua di Gio Elixir now. So right away, if you are familiar with Profumo or the Parfum or even like Profondo or any of the Acqua di Gio lines, guys, it's gonna be very familiar. It's still very much in that same family, scent profile, etc. Because in the opening, you are going to get that signature bright citrusy bergamot through and through, very dominant right away, crowd pleasing, mass appealing, and just very uplifting from that bergamot note. Alongside that bright bergamot, they do add a very nice spicy nutmeg that does bring a nice spicy characteristics to it. So citrusy, bright, and spicy with the opening of the elixir, but very much similar to the rest of the line, just maybe a little bit more deeper. Once you make your way into the mid, you are going to get an overdose of this kind of metallic violet leaf note. And to be honest with you, I'm not usually the biggest fan of violet leaves, and you do get a very heavy dose of it in the elixir, but for some reason it's not that bad. It's kind of does work in this DNA, but I would say the violet leaf is one of the main notes you will detect in this particular launch. And alongside that violet leaf, you are going to get, of course, the signature aquatic watery notes that is in pretty much all of the Acqua di Gios. That's kind of what it's known for. Very ozonic, aquatic, etc. This kind of smells like fresh, clean water, guys. Like the kind of water you would find in like the mountains somewhere that's ultra blue, refreshing. That's the vibe I get with Acqua di Gio Elixir. Just smells like the cleanest, purest water in the world, guys. But I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of hard for me to get over that violet leaf because it's pretty sharp, very kind of herbal, green, and ozonic, but I'll let it slide with this one just because this is kind of what this DNA is known for. So Acqua di Gio gets a pass with that particular note. Now, once you make your way into the base is what I think is the main show of the Elixir, because they introduced a note of leather, which is very rugged and smoky, and the leather actually replaces the incense you find in both like the Profumo and the parfum. So you do have a rugged, smoky leather instead of that smoky incense note, and I'm actually really rocking with it. So it still has a nice smoky quality, even more smoky than the parfum, and on par with Profumo. So if you miss the smokiness from Profumo, guys, and it was kind of lackluster in the parfum, this will actually scratch the itch for you because it definitely did me. Just slightly of a different kind of smoky tone. It doesn't really necessarily have that kind of smoky, churchy, resinous vibe that you find in Profumo. Just kind of maybe even a darker smokiness is what I get. And then of course we cannot forget about the patchouli, guys. Profumo had one of the best patchoulis I found in a designer ever. I love the earthiness patchouli that fragrance came with. It's no different with this, guys. You pretty much get the same exact patchouli found in Profumo within the Elixir, and I think it's fantastic. And I'm a patchouli head, guys. It's one of my favorite notes of all time. Absolutely within the top 3 if I had to think about it. You still do get that fantastic green, earthy patchouli in the Elixir. So as this one dries down, it's just very dark, smoky, rugged, and earthy is what I kind of get. And I'm also thinking maybe that laudanum is making another effect on that leather, because leather and laudanum go perfectly together. Sometimes laudanum can come across leathery as well, and it absolutely does in here. Kind of just enhances it even more. So if you guys have been holding on to your Profumo bottles, waiting for a replacement, it is finally here with Elixir. Now for the best seasons to rock Acqua di Gio Elixir. Guys, this is a signature scent worthy fragrance without a doubt. You can pull this one out all 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter, just like most of the Acqua di Gio line as well, because it's very versatile. You cannot go wrong with it. It has all the characteristics from like watery tones, citrusy notes, floral, smoky, earthy tones as well, which just makes it work all 4 seasons easily. Probably one of the best new signature scent worthy fragrances when it comes to designers. And for occasion, it's no different. Just like the seasons, guys, extremely versatile. The kind of fragrance you can wear dressed down without any problems, in like shorts, jeans, a hoodie, a t-shirt, etc. But this one can very easily be worn dressed up in like a button-up, a suit, a tuxedo, even if you want to get very fancy. This would pretty much be your sidekick for all occasions. If you're going to work out, wear Elixir. If you're going on a coffee date, wear Elixir. If you're going out on a dinner date in the evening, wear Elixir, guys. Honestly, I can't even think of an occasion where I probably wouldn't be able to reach for this one because it just works. So for gender, I personally think Acqua di Gio Elixir is more masculine than feminine. It's a very masculine smelling fragrance. There's nothing girly about this. There's nothing I would want my girl to smell like with this fragrance either. This is without a doubt for the boys out there, guys. If you want to smell like a gentleman, you want to smell masculine, this is going to be a very good option for you. Even if you don't like fragrances that are unisex, you feel like a macho man or an alpha, etc. This is something I would recommend you probably get even as a signature, like I said. And when it comes to age groups, I always thought this kind of scent profile with like Parfum, Profumo, etc. was a little bit more mature compared to like the original Acqua di Gio or Acqua di Gio Profondo, etc. This is probably the most mature Acqua di Gio that you could buy today, maybe outside of like Absolute Instinct, which is discontinued, but that was also like extremely mature. But still, if you just go to Macy's or somewhere where they sell these, this is the most mature one for you. So if you are a little bit older and you want an Acqua di Gio, stop wearing the original Acqua di Gio from like the 90s and go ahead and get yourself the Elixir, guys, because I know a lot of people have been wearing the original probably since like it first came out, and you're a little bit older now and you're still rocking that one. definitely do yourself a favor and upgrade to this one. You're not going to regret it. And you'll be a little bit more up to date with the times. Even though the original Acqua di Gio doesn't really smell dated per se, this is just like 5 times a better fragrance. And of course, if you are a little bit younger, you can still wear it as well. Just at the end of the day, it is a little bit more of a mature Acqua di Gio. But hey, I know some young guys out there like to smell a little bit more mature, etc., and be taken seriously, then this could be it for you. Now, wrapping the review of talking on the performance, which I know a lot of you guys are interested in because this is obviously an Elixir flanker. You expect it to have beast mode performance. You expect it to last all day long. And guys, I got good news for you because thankfully, you're gonna get that. From my testings, the couple times I've worn this one, tested it both on skin and on clothes, I got excellent performance, guys, above average easily. When it comes to longevity on skin, I got over 12 hours of longevity from this one, guys. So it gets a check for me. This is a true Elixir flanker when it comes to the performance, at least. That's kind of my benchmark, guys. For any fragrance out there, if it doesn't last 12 plus hours and it's an Elixir, it's a letdown for me because I have high expectations for these flankers because obviously they're supposed to be highly concentrated. You're paying a hefty premium for these flankers as well, and you're gonna expect them to perform. This one does. I know one time I wore this one, I applied this like very early in the morning, like 6 a.m. And then over 12 hours later, I got a compliment from a lady. She told me I smelled very good. What was it, etc. And I asked her, does it smell strong? Because I applied this like 13 hours ago. And she said, yeah, I can still smell it very vividly. And right there and then, guys, I was like, yeah, this gets the pass for me because a lot of times we go nose blind the fragrances and we don't really know how long they are lasting until somebody gives us a compliment and confirms that. So 12 hours plus with Elixir, which is fantastic. And guys, when it comes to the projection, this is a pretty loud beast mode projector as well, which means it will almost fill up an entire room depending on the size, of course. This is not an intimate fragrance where somebody has to come close to you to smell it, etc., or even put their nose up to your neck, your arm, or anything like that. They're gonna smell you a couple feet away. And when you walk by them, they're gonna turn their head, break their neck, be like, dang, who smells that good? So if you want attention, this is gonna get it. This is not gonna be the fragrance for an introvert that doesn't wanna talk to people, doesn't wanna be approached or anything like that, because trust me, you're gonna be talked to, you're gonna be asked, what are you wearing? Write that down. That smell is very good, etc. And this one definitely performs better than the Parfum and on par with Profumo, even though my bottle of Profumo is a few years old and has matured and sat, and that thing is a beast mode, so it's about the same as Profumo from my bottle at least. So above average with the longevity, above average with the projection, seriously no complaints whatsoever. I really think Giorgio Armani did a great job with the Elixir, even though it could be a little bit redundant if you do own Profumo or the Parfum. It's very similar to them, just smells a little bit more deeper, dense, and has slight differences, even though they kind of go in the same direction. So I would say if you own those ones, you're not the biggest fan, you don't necessarily need the Elixir, but if you're a huge fan of Acqua di Gio, you're a huge fan of Profumo and Parfum, you already know you're probably gonna wanna have this in your collection, just like me. But that's gonna do it for my review of the brand new Acqua di Gio Elixir. Let me know down below if you guys had the chance to try this one. How does it rank next to the others within the line, and your guys' opinions on that? I'm very curious. But besides that, guys, you already know. Leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, and of course, I'll see all you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.